this last week by several Luo leadership, and I'm reporting this directly to Baba. I'm also privileged to say that when Baba did what he did, Mapin Kacha, I've never said a single word in public. Jochako Kwanani, why is this man silent? But I was consulting with Baba through James Orengo, and Baba directly, and Mama Ida. I cannot do without consultation. To Baba no Kwanani namnai, tabenda di namnaio. Tukendo Baba chako tumogimoro maber kabisa, kumwot ping opio wandai, opionka, recognition ma 100%. But before I continue, I would like to say that my entry into Luo blood is through Nyamagoya. Nyamagoya was a great woman who gave birth to my grandmother and gave birth to Otienda Molo's grandmother. So when you see that blood around you, be careful. And Mheshimiwa James, you have said something very important. That when Raila came around, Jaramogi came around here to do something. No kweto moko kambo yudo gimoro, bochako pando reto ochako nyuolonga. The Jaramogi family, I don't know how to please myself. I don't know how to thank you for the liberation struggle of this country and East Africa as a whole. And I don't know how to thank Mama Ida for having been, plus James Orengo, the two that God used to transfer me from this country when Moi was killing everybody to UK. And I'm making this known to our fellow Luos from Uganda. That if it was not them, I would not be standing here, particularly Mama Ida, when she made what she made through Jaramogi, to ferry me from this country when Moi was killing everybody. That is why, and that's what informs you, for what I've been doing to the Luo community. When things went wrong in Tanzania, the Luo community, the Roria Untie, I'm the one who took your 4 Diwanis when they ran here into exile. I'm the one who made their papers as a lawyer, and also your MP who was helped by Raila Odinga. So my interweaving within the Luo is great. That's why when Baba says things, I listen very, very, very keenly. Okadi kodu yamo muneno yamo mangeng ni udikon. Yamo tonge. Ntie nyitindo moko mose chako paroni gibende ginyalo woto kamano. Mano kunyalre. Lakini majensi, I have a word for you. And I'm following what Baba said recently. And I'm not going to fear anything. Baba, please, I beg you, tell somebody somewhere not to take our children and abduct them. I know you have said that. Kindly pass that message very greatly. The abductions are wrong. Our children need to live. And I know with Baba being there, everything is going to be all right. I thank you very much. Tokaro kanyako morontie kamoro wariek wanyalo kata nyolo nyithindo moko mariek kaka wan. Erokamano ahinya.
Erokamano Professor Wajakoya. Koro githuoloni. Owadgi Mary. Mosiepna. Magavana Makisumo. Kenonjane party on disone. Nani interim party leader. Erokamano Governor Makisumo. Dakugone Joey niwe ward Kisumo. Joey.
Jokanyana mutie. Muchiek. Erokamano. Ana biro kaka wuono jakom kaka dukum jakom Raila Odinga. Ege nyagem Mama Aida. Gobulo siepna. Gijo duto manka. Awacho kama. Na nge na biro megwena. Omiyo kuna biro gi nyagem. Kejange ni megwena kame yude jomoko kamano. Omiyo kaponi sympathize koda. Tualos bange wayere. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hallelujah. Mara riyo adwa gwero kamano jatendo Raila Odinga. Jafuambo weche moro nyicho penja mana juzi. To kapo ni Raila odhi EU to koyudo to timango. Ako ni winjo. Ok odhi no try, odhi no dhi yudo. Makofi basi. Because we must realize that when Jacom has made up his mind to do something, he knows what he's doing. When he made up his mind that we are forming ODM, he knew what he's doing, which direction we are going. It doesn't matter how many difficulties we have found on the way. We have resolved. Forward ever. Backward never. Mara riyo. Adwa wacho gimoro kuom Jaramogi. Jaramogi was an institution builder for the Luo community, for the nation of Kenya, for Africa as a whole. And I remember one of the things he did before he died was to champion Ramogi Institute of Advanced Technology. Kaka no wachega. Ramogi Institute of what? Advanced Technology. Matindu na eno Kisumu. At that point in time, I remember very well, it was very difficult to collect money for it. I don't want to go to the circumstances, but he managed. The leadership and the daringness of Jaramogi, it's inherited by his family. Uburu, Raila, Nyagem. Secondly, kono maro wacho gi Kisungu. Uye. Awashi. Leadership is not for those who want to get benefits. Waswahili wanasema kujitolea mhanga. You must give yourself to labor and to ask for no rewards. To labor and to ask for no rewards. That is what true leadership is. And we are seeing it in our leader. Therefore, all those of us who are here, who want to stand for anything elective, please know that if you want to be a leader, please be a leader and not ask for any reward. Indeed, it is the true leaders who have been persecuted most on this earth, beginning with Jesus Christ, St. Paul, and many others. And therefore, in Lowland today, we are here because the people who organize this place, this thing today. Jim Orengo, thank you very much for the leadership you have shown. You are doing it with this team from both Siaya and Kisumu County. Not because we want any reward, but we want to build a movement, an institution for the Luo people. And therefore, I will do to Jotelo Manka, Karombu. Let us continue with giving up ourselves to serve our nation and serve our people so that something like this can happen because of the dedication of the leaders here, led by my friend Jim Orengo. Jim, thank you very much for what you have done. And what you have done with my Deputy Governor, Dr. Willie, and the team you are working with. Here in Kisumu, we have MPs from Kisumu County. Can you stand up? Dr. Ron is there. I think over there, my eyes are not very good. Nikal is there. And then, Father, I need to change my glasses. Aduma Mako War. Then Ruth Odinga, the senator. The woman rep, sorry. So we are here representing Kisumu County in full. And we are going back to report to the people that this cultural event will continue into the future to show the culture of the Luo people internationally, not just in Kenya. Bwana Yesu asifiwe.
Ero kamano. Koro kuyena. Adwani aluong Jakom.
Sorry, we recognize the presence of the Secretary General of the UDA party, the Honorable Hassan Omar. Karibu sana. We also recognize the founders of the Luo Renaissance, Professor Woro Lunga, Professor Ben Sihanya, Henry Mien, and Engineer Kerry Orege. Our facilitators, because now we are concluding from here, Professor Mary Goretti Otieno will recognize you, Professor Larry Gumbe, Mwalimu Polikapochilo, Professor Obonyo Digolo, Dr. Elizabeth Owete, Dr. Ahao, and Dr. Isaiah Nyandega. Karibuni sana. We also recognize the presence of the founding Vice Chancellor of TUK, Professor Francis Oduol. Your Excellency.
Ero kamano. Korosani. Adwa Luongo, one of the most powerful women and Kenyan in this country. Not just in Kenya, but entire Africa and the world. Min Pin, on your own, you are a fighter. You are a freedom fighter. And I can be a witness to that. Ruak nauru Min Pin, gisigalagala. Ero kaman, ero kaman, ero kaman.
Erukamano mokwongo agoero kamano maduong' ni Nyasaye me polo obongo nyakalaga momi wabiro ka wabet ka tieng' machal kamanieri eneno jomobet piny okunyal ng'eyo ni dhano ni kama chal nade kata bende na kia sama bet to kara ulich mana kama kara ulich mana kama ngamo ko chopo ka to en ngano ngamo ko chopo ka to en ngano to kapodi dieyo reti chopi pod wabiro bedo gi budho kiny goruecha omiyo nyaku chopi. Mar ariyo agoero kamano ni jok moparo mokelo ji kachiel bok chako gimiluongo ni piny luo. Gini wasegomba to ne pok otimore to sani otimore kendo biro bedo nyime omiyo agoni erokamano. Gini eri oyawo wang' ji mang'eny kata an bende oyawo wang'a ni kara piny luo ok en mana Kenya ka, kara piny luo oting'o jo Uganda ma bende waneno gi ka, piny luo oting'o jo Tanganyika bende gin kacha, jo Mwaroria, piny luo oting'o jo Sudan, oting'o jo Congo, oting'o jo Ethiopia, to kara walicha licha. Higa ni watime ka, higni mabiro biro time kato kamoro higni mabiro mbele kucha ok nwatime Kenya ka, nwatime kata Uganda, kata Sudan, kata Ethiopia, kata Congo. Nikech waduto wan gimoro adi? Wan gimoro adi? Ber. An gima ndawachnu kaka jowa nyithi joluo. Ang'e ni weche ng'eny kendo ji paro mopogore opogore. Gik mabeyo osewach kar kae. To nyaka wapar ni to en ang'o manyalo kelowa kaachiel. Ang'o ma kwatimo to wanyalo bedo kaachiel. Ok mano nyaka go back to the drawing board. Buang'in en ang'o manyalo kelowa kaachiel. Weche mang'eny nyalo pogowa. Weche mang'eny nyalo pogowa. Iwinjo ka ng'ato tena aja loka, an aja kune, an aja kanye, mago weche mapogo ji. Weche moko pe mapogo ji gin weche mag kaka neno ka siasa moro do chopo ka siasa yiera kuma idwa dhiye. To kik forget ni jang'o. Ang'e gima udwa wachona. Koro jogo duto warwako. Ng'ato nyalo kier matin. To kiduogo, to duogo e laini. To kibire laini. Wawe animo miya thuolo mar loso kin kawuono. Kibire laini. To chak chien kuma nene. Ng'at mogik chien kuche midhi chake. Mano bende wayie. O kamano. Omiyo kik waked kod gimiero. Gin jowa. Kihinye ichwero remb jaluo wadu. Gi joluo manie Kenya ka. Tim moro tinde wahero. Ma anta dwan ka tim no chwanya. To koro nyaka wana wach nugo awacha. Tim moro ni ka wadhi e liel. Ka wan gi liel. To dhano bire liel ywak. To inidhi mane liel mar gori gi jawadu. Yawa timne to nonego wakwere ka wan oganda ng'eny kamae. Jok makelo lweny e liete ji. Ukwong'ogi. Udagi. Kidhi tibet mana mos to ywak ka ywak ihero. Kitieko titibang'o. Idhi dala. To mogik an kawuono ka an wuon wach. Luonga mana dabia mosu. To mogik. Joluo. Nyaka waket tekowa e wach mar puonjruok mag nyithindwa. Wach mar education. Wach mar somo. Kokwa puonjo nyithindwa gi. To jok winjo kiluongo ka ni profesa kia ng'ano, profesa ng'ane, dokta ng'ane. Biro bedo maonge mbele ka. Koku ng'e wachno. Biro bedo maonge mbele ka. Emo nyaka waket bayine wach mar puonjo nyithindwa. Litna ka winjo tinde ji nyiewo degree. Makata ng'ane be nyicho bedo nojonango PhD. Muno bedo engineer man gi PhD. To kata school okonyono. Yawa wawe wach no ero. Somo bed somo mar adier. To kikupani kucha kende kata iwaka. Obed somo mar adier nikech somo mar adier eminyalo gero go piny. To kwadwa gero pinywa nyaka wadwa nyithindwa gi nyaka wami proper education. Nyaka wamigi. Ang'e ni kachopo ga kar kanyo to ji ling'. To kata kuling' nyaka wamigi. Kidwaro japuonj mariek kabisa manyalo puonjo nyithindo maber. Inwang'e kanye? Akanye. Nyalore koso ok nyalore? An kawuono ka an gi wach mang'eny. An adwa na mosu kendo nyisou na amor kodu kabisa kaneno u. Amor kodu. Koro celebration mwantie gi. Omiyo ka aneno ker erokamano bedo ker maluo, aneno jotelo mopogore opogore ka, amor kodu, erokamano kuom bedo ka, to unu lead the way and us will follow. Erokamano, Nyasaye ogwedhu.
Mako mamano morito rengo. Tinge gimomiyo orita maber. Inge gimomiyo orita maber. Mama no puonje. Mama no puonje. Erokamano be.
Sama wuoyo ka ng'eni karo rita ga toka kar kae. To da hero mdegin, an chon ne an japuonj. An jok wana puonjo. Ema mi jok acho mar education. Jok wana puonjo gin who is who. Oka puonjo jok ma oremie kor gweng'. Achiel kuom jok mana puonjo en Betty Murungi Orengo, nyako mochung' e dirani. Donge Ang'en seche moko nene mana ni donge mano jaod Orengo. En well educated. En a lawyer of high standards. Osetiyo kata gi UN as a lawyer. Betty, just say hello to them.
Nyasaye ber seche te. Karibuni sana Migwena. Some of us have come to spoil for our partners. Tumekuja na wao hapa Migwena. We look forward to welcoming you to all the ceremonies over the next 2 days. Karibuni sana, our visitors from all over Africa and the beyond. We're very happy in Siaya to be hosting you for this, our annual Pin Luo Festival. Thank you very much, Min Pin, for having taught me and having taught many of us here. Asante sana Baba for honoring us, obviously, with your presence. We appreciate you. Ker erokamano ainya.
Ker ong'eyo. Ker bo ong'e nyako ni. Erokamano. Nitie gimoma min piny owacho kae. And I want to repeat it loudly. And please bear with me. A lot of the events that are going on now are being covered live in NTV. But the reason I want to say this because next year we are going to go either to Migori or to Kisumu. But I think it has been decided it's Migori. Now, if you look all around, we have been assisted by institutions in the corporate world. And I want to mention all of them because they intend to go with us to Migori. They told me as much. And they are watching us to see whether it is necessary to continue investing into Piny Luo. There are only 3 cultural festivals in the country where the national government has been giving assistance. The first is the Turkana one, the Ma community, and the Lamu Cultural Festival. This time around, and I want to thank you, Baba, Raila Odinga. The national government has invested resources and assets in Piny Luo, and I want to register my felicitation to the national government, particularly the Ministry of Tourism, the ministry in charge of sports, and the ministry in charge of culture. And their representatives are here. And they're going to be with us throughout to know whether it is useful to continue investing into Paybill. But they have made their decision. But it depends on what we do. I want to appreciate the Nation newspaper group together with the Nation group or the Aga Khan group, because we got two institutions from the Aga Khan group, that is the Nation and the Diamond Trust Bank. They have assisted us. We have also been assisted by the Kenya Aviation Authority. If you go to the airports all over the country, they have put banners for Paybill. Everybody arriving in Kenya today, whether it's Jomo Kenyatta, whether it's Mombasa, everywhere, they are advertising the Paybill, and we want them to continue doing that. We have also received assistance from the Kenya Commercial Bank, from the Cooperative Bank, from the Diamond Trust Bank, from the NCBA Bank. We have received assistance from LAP Fund. We have received assistance from Safaricom. We have also received assistance from Kenya Airways, making it possible for Gor Mahia team to come by air. I think they came yesterday, courtesy Kenya Airways. And they have said when Yanga is coming in February, they will pay for their tickets and pay for Gor Mahia Kogalo. We have also received assistance from KBL, Kenya Brewers Limited, and from Just University. All these organizations are saying they want to be part of the team of sponsors and partners for Paybill. So we are going to meet them in Migori. How many people would welcome this organization and others to continue giving assistance to Paybill? Let me see a show of hands. Koroku yena abe adwa wacho gimoro matin, nitie joloso moko mabende biro, ta adwa wacho gimoro matin kae. In history, and right now, in a lot of discourse, in matters concerning affairs of men and women who have changed humankind, one of the greatest debates in England is who is the greatest Englishman who ever lived. And the debate is normally and most of the times between Shakespeare and Winston Churchill. And Winston Churchill, not because he was a prime minister, because he was a great writer and historian. And the other person in England, sometimes that names keep on coming, is Sir Isaac Newton. If we talk about the greatest black man that ever lived, the debate is between Martin Luther King or Nelson Mandela. Not so much because they were princes or kings or monarchs, but because of what they did for the world and for the nation. And in that category falls one called Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi. In the United States of America, when they talk about the greatest American that ever lived, the name that keeps on coming is that of Abraham Lincoln. Not because he was president of the United States of America, but because he believed that America cannot be great if it is half free and half slave. Our Lord Jesus Christ, whom we worship, was never a pope. He never occupied any position. He was never a cardinal. But his history and work goes across continents. Even for that matter, Muhammad the prophet, he was not a king, he was not a monarch. But what he did for many, many centuries, and we're talking about over nearly 2,000 centuries, is because of what they stood for and what they did. And I want to remind the Luo nation, and this I want to say without fear of contradiction, that Raila Amolo Odinga is a great Kenyan and a great statesman, not because he is a party leader, not because at one time he was a minister. Raila Amolo Odinga is a great Kenyan because of what he stands for. And you will find any time we have made a decision, including now, to work with partners, Raila will never allow you to do what is wrong. And I'm glad, Baba, that when it came to the question of abductions, you spoke plainly. You didn't mince your words. And I am saying for the Luo nation, we may not have been produced a president in this nation, but the time will come. The time will come. The time will come. And the reason why that time will come is because of the sense of justice of the Luo community. The greatest asset that we have is not money, is not our land we own. It is our sense of justice. And on that one, I can tell you tomorrow, yesterday, and in the future, that the leaders have never been mediocre. They stand up. Jeremiah, one of the most brilliant politicians who left a record, but because of his sense of justice. Tom Mboya had a sense of justice. Arsene Kodek had a sense of justice. And I can tell you, because of Raila's sense of justice, that is why he has won elections. Me, I believe that Raila was and is president because many times he was robbed of election, and that should never happen. So I want to plead with you. Sometimes we can get a sense of excitement and euphoria. Sometimes we can get a sense of excitement and euphoria. At least in my lifetime, I've been in politics with people like Odongo Mamu or Okiki Amayo. And when you heard them talk, it was like the president was king. We must always remember that we stand by our constitution. That is the basic document that must guide us. And that constitution is what now allows us to express our identity in language, culture, and when we are all gone, it is our culture and identity that will determine who we were. The pharaohs, the Egyptians, their history lives today because they left a culture which we can still access. Now, for Pinluo, our history is rich. And I ask you, when you are here, take 2-3 hours in Gotramogi. Then you begin to know who you are. You cannot leave Kenya and go to America and visit Arlington Cemetery to see where Kennedy is buried. And you're a Luo and you don't know where Ramogi is buried just next door. You have to do that. You cannot be a Luo if you don't know how other Luos, how they live, their history. And I'm so happy with the delegation, all the delegations that have come. We have got kings, we got governors. In Uganda, we have prime ministers. They are all here with you. And in DRC, there used to be a little girl called Akumu, Nana Akumu. A lot of people didn't know that he was a Congolese Luo. And Dr. Buru, they tell me that they're not just 4 million, they're about 8 million. So, Kenya, we are here as a Luo nation, not to preach discrimination or exclusivity. We are not going to be people of the lake in exclusion of other Kenyans, like other people preach about mountains. We believe in unity and diversity, as Adam Solo said. That is what is going to make us great. This is what makes Raila Amolo Odinga standing for justice, standing for the truth, standing for the common people, having pro-people policies. That is what is going to make a difference. Omio angimano emanyalo wacho mora hinya gi jimobiro megwena ko ka kinyuparu bi wichlum ka kawuono wadhi go tramogi gi kopondo kendo oruye nwabed ramogi kendo nwabed Siaya kababa Siaya tatien. And in conclusion, Raila Amolo Odinga, I want to appreciate for you making it possible. It has never happened, never, that through your leadership and vision, we got all these people from the Luo nation from across Africa. That is one. Secondly, you have made it possible for two heads of state, sitting heads of state, to come to join with you to celebrate an event in Siaya. It has never happened. It has never happened. It has never happened. But next year, we'll come to you, now that you'll be the head of Africa, to bring us 6, 7, 8 presidents to Migori, or to Homa Bay, or to Kisumu. Awacho kutoka wacho. Awacho kutoka wacho. Joey! 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 Polo piać! Polo piać! Polo piać! Polo piać! Koro yenaura duong, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Kabayuma kangato, kabayuma kangato. Kabayuma kangato, kabayuma kangato. Kaverno kangato, kaverno kangato. Emokil. Kabayuma kangato, kabayuma kangato. Guambo. Kaverno kangato, kangato nyongo. Kabayuma kangato wanga. Kabayuma kangato ida. Kabayuma kangato kamiel nono kangato buru. Kabayuma kangato opia. Kamiel nono kangato dungi. Kabayuma kangata guambo. Agwambo noroka. Baba Raila tiroka nangotela. E baba noroka. Ajimi orengo tiroka nangotela. Ajimi noroka. Mama wanga tiroka nangotela. Miel nang nekendo norwaka. Ai norwaka. Dugna nekendo. Siaya wiye. Kisumu wiye. Migori wiye. Kisi wiye. Yo Kenya wiye. Nango baba tosha wan wiye kode chut. Nango baba tosha wan. Nango Siaya wiye. Migori wiye. Homa Bay wiye. Migori wiye. Kisumu wiye. Siaya wiye. Nairobi wiye. Nango baba tosha wan wiye.
Asante sana, asante sana. Asante.
Haya. Jothurwa. Umor. Jokanyana mumor. Kanyana muil. Kanyana muchiek. Jamochiek oting'ne badgi. Ero uru kamano. Ni wendo mobiro, our guests who have come from outside Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, DRC, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and the diaspora in the US and in Europe and Australia. Saureuru, hamjambo. I want to welcome all the visitors who have come to join us today for this wonderful occasion. It is a great occasion for the Luo nation here. There are only, I think, 2 other communities who have some similar celebrations. The Teso here have an annual event where they bring their Emormor. Emormor is the king of the Teso, but he lives in Uganda. But he comes here annually and they have a reunion here. They also have such similar event in Uganda. Then the Turkana have what they call the Tobong Lore. Tobong Lore is a big festival. They bring people of Turkana from different parts. The Toposa in the South Sudan, the Karamoja in Uganda, and the other group which are in Ethiopia. They come and every year they have such a festival in Lodwar. Now this is not a political event. It is basically a cultural event that brings people together who share the same culture to be able to unite, because culture itself is a source of civilization. That's why the Waswahili say, Mwachamila ni mtumwa. That if you forget your culture, you become basically a slave. So I've got some remarks I want to make in English. Then I will speak in the Luo and also in Swahili. We gather here at a time in which the world is increasingly interconnected through globalization, while at the same time we are witnessing the resurgence of nationalist aspirations. This resurgence of nationalist aspirations is being complemented by the emergence of multinationalism, which is nurtured by resilient communities. These multinational inspirations do not seek to undermine the national project in their host countries, but rather to harness the linguistic, cultural, and social fabric upon which most nation states were built. In Africa, we are more of state nations as opposed to nation states, given that the state in Africa, thanks to the Berlin Conference, saw states being engineered from above through artificially created boundaries. These consequences of these colonial boundaries were the fragmentation of cohesive lingual and cultural communities, which were dismembered, separated, and distributed among different states to satisfy colonial ambitions for socio-economic control and exploitation. Despite these divisions, pre-colonial African nations have demonstrated remarkable resilience, continuing to thrive across nationalities imposed upon them
by colonial powers. It is within this context that the Luos from across Africa and the diaspora have gathered here in Siaya at the foot of Gotramogi to the revered shrine of the Kenyan Luo to reflect on the state of the Luo nation in the spirit of unity and diversity. Luo delegations, led by their respective cares, the cultural leaders, have converged from Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo, and other nations. We are also joined by non-Luo participants who have come to celebrate alongside Luos, embracing unity and shared heritage that transcends the national borders. To say that multinationalism has come of age is therefore an understatement. This cultural festival embraces a multifaceted theme, fostering unity and diversity, not only among Luos across national borders, but also among diverse national groups unified by their shared African identity. Over these 3 days, we will celebrate our traditional cuisines, rediscover and adapt our traditional cultures to modernity, engage in traditional games, and enjoy art, music, and festivities cherished by our forefathers. We will deliberate on the state of the Luo nation and chart a way forward in a rapidly changing world. As our forefathers proclaimed, this gathering is guided by the enduring spirit of the Luo nation, captured in our rallying call, 1-1-1. Repeat, 1-1-1. Togin. 1. Gin. 1. Gin. Hello. Kawuono wane giluongo ni galamoro. Luongo nango? Iluongo nango? Nuokendo. 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 Eruru kamano. Koro kawgini. Hello. Hello. Koro wan ka. Wan migwena. Wan kanye. To nitie kamiluongo ni wich lum. Iluongo nango? Tiluongo ni Gotramogi. Iluongo nango? Tiluongo ni Siaya kababa. Iluongo nango? To gibondo. Gibondo. Kawuono wan migwena ka oburo sewachonu. This used to be a place where people used to compete on an annual basis. From time immemorial. I'm going to tell you so that our friends from Uganda will understand how the Luos of Kenya came about here. But here was a place where people used to compete. Now you have a division here called Bondo Division. It used to consist of Uyoma, Asembo, Imbo, and Sakwa. Where we are here is Sakwa. And people used to compete here. There used to be tug of war. There used to be wrestling. Amen. And then they used to play soccer. Girls used to play netball. They used to run. Apudinjiri. 100 yards, 220, 440, 1 mile, 5 miles, and 10 miles. But here now, people used to come, the teams would come from those 4 locations to run. Now, in one of those occasions, a girl came. She was not from this division. She came from what would be known as Boro Division in Alego and Ugenya, those sides. She came to visit her auntie, who was married here, somewhere around Bondo. And then there's Migwena Sports. So she came. And then the relative said that she was also an athlete. She used to compete in that other division. So she was allowed to compete with girls here in the sprints as a guest runner. And when they went 100 meters, she beat all those girls. Everybody was surprised. Then went 220. Then she beat them so far away that she caught the attention of one Jaramogi, Odinga. Tonyako manjaber manyo bunyiricha. En kanye. You don't worry. So they don't, oh, she's not from here. Her aunt was married. Then Jaramogi said, I want to see her. Then he was told that girl is so proud. She had rejected so many men that we don't think he will succeed. Then we approached and tried. Eventually, he was giving up. But he had his cousins who were experts in seducing girls. So he was told that, oh, eventually this one has accepted and cows were being sent. That's when he now realized that something was serious. So that story is in Not Yet Uhuru, written by Jaramogi himself. That is how Raila and Uhuru came about. Mama Mary, Emma, Odhiambo, Odinga. This is Jaramogi met her here in Migwena. That's where Odinga challenged you women ka. You women ka. You wait here, won't you? Don't you won't you? You make it won't you? Unge Gimamajo. What the local. Now, as you have seen, you have people from the diaspora. They are the Acholi here, the Padola, the Alur, the Jonam, the Jurchol, the Shiluk, Anyuak, Yakayo Gambela. Now, the Luos here in Kenya are a hybrid lot. The Luos here in Kenya are a hybrid. The first group that came here and landed at Gotramogi 800 years ago are called the Joke people. The joke. The joke people came from Acholi. There they're called the Pajok. They live in the border between Uganda and South Sudan, a place called Nimule. Some of them are in South Sudan, some of them in Uganda. The Pajok. That's the group that came together and were led by one Ramogi, and they came and settled in that hill where we are going to go, Ramogi. That's the first settlement of the Luo in Kenya, over 800 years ago. They went up there, and tomorrow visitors will be able to see the shrine. There's a place where they settled, their home, Dala. There's a house there, Ot. Then several houses of them, of wives there, are there. You have recreated them. There's also Duol of Ramogi. And then there is a Cool, where they were keeping cattle. Then there's also Rapogi. Rapogi is a big rock where they used to sharpen their spears and arrows when they were going to war. Then there is also Pong. a grinding stone that they used to grind millet and other grains. And there is also lodge. This lodge was where they were hitching cows. It was put on the ground, but it grew up and became a big tree. It is there up to today. There's also Soko, where they used to get water, fresh water. It's there, that's Soko up to today. The Virgin Maria people go to baptize people there up to now. So all that is there is a big history of the Luo people. That's why we said we are making Ramogi Hill a shrine of the Luo. There's now a hut which is called Siaya. And the hut which is called Kisumo. And the hut is called Homabay. Another one is called Migori. Symbolic to the clans here, there. Now the Joke people, today in present day Luo, Joke, are, you need to know that when the population grew up, they started now to move out. Hey, hello? Hello? When the population grew, they started migrating. And they migrated, and this place here, Migwena, became the dispersal point. But the first to move out of the Gotramogi was Alego. Alego Mawuramogi. It's the one who moved from Gotramogi first and crossed the River Yala into present-day Alego. Now, today, in the present-day Alego, the descendants of Alego himself are three clans. The Jokanyinek, Seje, Alego Maduong, and Dengi. Those are the descendants of Alego. The rest are actually settlers. Then it took 250 years before the second group of migrants came. 250 years. When the second lot came, this one came from the Padola. The Padola, the Owin brother of Padola, came with these people through the normal migration corridor, Samia, Bugwe, into Bunyala. And then after a while, they crossed the Ibanzoya. They came and found the Alego people there. Already Seje, the son of Alego, the eldest son, was crowned as the chief. Seje was the king of the Alego clans there. But when they came, they said, we cannot be ruled by another king because Oweny had already been made a king in Manyala. So they deposed Seje, and Oweny took over. And Oweny now became the king and began to torture the Alego people, Lord Jokowiny. The Oweny clan today in Alego are the Kogelo, the Kaluo, the Karuoth, the Moor, there's other people around here, Karapul. Then in Imbo, you have them, Jo Kadimo, Jokowil, Gumunyajira. And they are the ones who are also there in Asembo called Kanyigoro. And this also the Waundu in Sadoka. The Joke people are Asunda Lego, the others are Oyua Nyakaj, others are Owidi and Rombo Kisumo, Nyikal Seme, Rachuonyo, and Chuanya, Karunguka Dame, and Kaboch and Kanyamua in South Nyanza. Those are the Joke people. The third wave of migrants came from the Aluru, who are from the West Nile and Eastern DRC. They are called the Jokomolo. There they are called the Paimol. Here they are called Jokomolo. They came 100 years later and followed the same migration corridor. And then when they came over the Nzoia, they found when Owiny was ruling those Alego people very ruthlessly. They teamed up with the Alego people and with deposed Owiny, and Seje became the leader again. The Molo people. Their first settlement is a Lego place called Boro. This Omolo group here, you find them in Ugenya, majority, Kager, Jokapuny, Jokateg, Boro, and so on. And in game, we call them Jokojuthi and Kwenda. On the other side, they're called Kochia, Jokanyada, and Jokagan, who are Jokakan in Alego this side. That is the Molo group. Okay? The fourth group, all these groups also went to go to Ramogi first. The fourth group and the last group are called the Wanga. Wanga came from the Padola also. And then they moved Wanga. If you go to Bunyala there's a hill called Wanga Hill, God Wanga. And from there, they moved and passed through Alego and went all the way to a place called Tiriki. They settled there for a while. There was Nyadundo, Wanga, and Owila. Nyadundo remained there. The people we call the Tiriki, if you ask them, their ancestors called Nyadundo. Wanga moved to Matungu, where he subdued the people he found there and became the king, Nabongo. The first and the only king that was found here, Wanga. And then they were there with Owila. Owila, when you told him something funny, he would laugh at you and say, Joyuma kabisa. Joyuma hinya. That is where the word Oyoma came from. Then Wanga had a wife called Sakwa. And with that, Sakwa gave birth to a son called Matar. Now, Owila people moved from when there was pressure on land, population had grown. The Owila people moved back to Luoland and settled in Alego. Their settlement there is called Uyoma up to today, near a place called Kobare. That is their settlement. Then Matar people came and followed them and found them there. They settled there. There another person called Lay had come on his own from Asoliland. Joined them there. This Lay, there in a Asoliland they called the Palais. The Palais. Came and joined. Lay had a girl who was grown up, Amolo Nyale, whom Owila married. And that is the origin of the Oyoma people, Jokamolo, Jokatwenga, Jokabudha, Jokobong. And that's why for a long time they did not used to marry with a simple Kale. Jokabondo, Jokakia, Jokonyango, Jokochieng, and so on. So that now gives you the meaning of the Luo, the diaspora, the mixture. The last ones are the Suba. The Suba came from Buganda, the original settlers. They were called Abakunta, who came there, killed a king there called Kabaka Junju. And now the Kabaka's carriers were chasing them. They ran to the lake. They went first to Busoga. Then eventually they ended up in Fangano Island. And then they came ashore. They were mostly men looking for girls. The Luos told them, if you want to marry our girls, You must remove 6 lower teeth first. Wakasema ati kama ni kutoa meno 6 peke yake napata bibi, toa mara moja. Wakatoa meno 6 na wakapata wasichana. So, but you see, these people came from Buganda royal family, and you need to know that Buganda royal family was originally of Luo origin. The Kabakas were actually Luos. I'm saying this, Ugandans will confirm, even Museveni will confirm to you when he comes. This story I'm telling you. So although they were speaking Kibantu, but for a long time in Kibaka's court, they were Luo speaking. But then because they were living with so many Bantus, they lost their tongue. And they need there. Therefore, I'm saying that although they were coming here, they were not real strangers. The Suba group. And the Subas, of course, some came from Tanzania, some came from Ukerewe Island, and so on and so forth. So all that I'm trying to say in a short is that the Luo group here is a hybrid, a mixture of the Acholi, the Padola, the Aluru, and the Baganda, which are here. This is Tanganyika, in short. But what I'm trying to emphasize here is that the Luo unity is why they have managed to survive and live up to today. Most of these places where they now settled were occupied by other people. And they pushed these people, and then they occupied the land around here, but very peacefully. This is very important. Now there are cultures of our people which are important for children to know and understand. This is what creates a nation. So he's saying that in this country we have got communities with different cultures. He says that diversity is our richness. Unity in diversity. So in celebrating this thing here, does not mean that we now want to discriminate against the Luhyas. We have lived with the Luhyas for a long time peacefully. They have, for example, the Maragoli cultural festival every year, which is fine. The Kisi, the Kuria, the Nandi, the Kipsigis and so on, we live together peacefully. So what we're trying to do here is not exclusive. We're not trying to discriminate against any other community. We just want our people to understand our culture, and it's important. And also to participate also in business and also in other activities that make life bearable for communities. So I'm very happy today that we are here at Paybill. Paybill is here today. Paybill is here, and we have got Care Odinga Udarangi. Chumbunu jogo neni kendo. Joey! 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 Africa consists of communities with diverse backgrounds. You have a movement in Africa for generations. They are here called the group that are called the Negroid race. You have the Bantus, you have the Nilotes, you have the Kushites, you have the Hamites, you have the Hottentots, and the Pygmies. But they have migrated and integrated. And here, they're blended. The original Luos who came were tall black people. If you look at colonial literature, the Nilotics, tall, pitch black, slender. Bantu, short, stout, brown, and thick lips and round noses. Now, you can see the intermarriage has brought the Luos a little bit down, and brought the lohias, for example, straight higher up. So we are now a hybrid, and we are a hybrid. And this is the richness of our culture and our people. So we are here, and we are happy to be here. And this is a very great occasion today, as we celebrate Pilu today. Pilu today. 1-1. 1-1. 1-1. Gin. Tuan Kanye. Galamuru. 1 Kanye. 1 Kanye. 1 Kanye. You throw more. You throw wheel. Throw wheel. Ero kamano koro wachunuka. King jiditima amend. King team red donam. Togi gi yedi king pim. Kaya rit sport pro team reka. Kaka ne team rechon. Ibro yuwa kwa hunuka. Toruecha. Akawuno anguthi ambo. Jibro decho just. Ewa kumangidi yawe higa. Kujimangidi yawe higa. Mangidi mirenya kache. Umorgo. Ito tieng tarikario. Tuwa Ramogi kaya to Siaya kababa. Ntie stadium maduong ma Siaya. Ma governor Karasanga no chako gero to rengu tieko. Moloso maber kabisa. Ku stadium no idhi yao. Idhi chako ni Jaramogi stadium. Kanyo team ma Uganda, ma champion ma Uganda. Digo chogi gorko galo. To motelo. To wajumbe wagi. Digo mpira gi piny luo combine. Katen resa. Kose logi. Tae banyo koreka. I don't know, tiene protest. Akoni kose logi. Te koreka kurwadi gire. Ika kurwadi mpira ma Gor Mahia. Gorko galo. Team moloyo. Team kikombe lungo ni Jaramogi Odinga Cup. Oye ko yuturwa. Yuturo more. Kromi wachani Pinlu Festival 2024 in Siaya is officially launched. Jokanyanam way. Eruka mana ini.